Some games are loaded with content. They have characters that share deep bonds, characters that help each other grow over the course of a difficult journey. Others have characters that are layered, with deep, complex emotions and very strong family ties. And still others have vast open worlds. Worlds to explore at your own pace. Enjoying a nice game is akin to savoring a fine meal.
Yeah.
There are a ton of games I wouldn't want to or wouldn't be able to do a full series on. But there are so many that deserve their time in the sun. So, instead of the full meal with all the fish, sometimes all you need is just a taste. Just a Taste is a segment where I want to cover shorter games, indie games, and other interesting media. On today's inaugural episode, we're covering Super Indie Karts. It doesn't get a whole series, but one episode is more than enough to cover what we need to see here. The focus this month is going to be on two indie racing games, arcade racers to be specific. When it comes to racing games, we throw around a lot of different terms. Arcade racer, sim racer, retro racer. But what exactly are the differences? In some racing games, there are boost pads, crazy volcanoes, and physics that frankly are ridiculous. In other ones, cars flip around a little bit, but there seem to be fairly realistic vehicles. Nothing's really that crazy other than, none of the brands are real and maybe tracks are a little crazy. And then some games are completely bonkers, with physics that makes no sense whatsoever, crazy items, wacky characters, absurd items and tracks. Are they all just arcade racers? Or are they something a little different? Even if you search online, the results can be varied, to say the least. So, let's make our own definition of arcade racer as we move forward. And to do that, we're going to have to look back in time, where racing games really, define themselves. In the 80s and early 90s, the world was blessed with a cavalcade of new arcade and early console racing games, like Pole Position here, and yes, this is what the game sounds like, it's not broken. This is all they had. The home console market wasn't much better, but this one had 2-player, Rally Speedway on the Atari, and at least it was getting a little bit better, but there really wasn't a major difference between super realistic racers and arcade racers yet. Arcade racers like Outrun had multiple routes and multiple environments on the same track, and arcade racers start to pull off and leave home console racers in their dust. Some people love Outrun to this day because of its unique visuals, nice music, and unique style that hadn't been seen at the time. You'd drive on a track, and from time to time there would be forks in the road. You started off on the coast, you saw the palm trees, and then you would see a wide number of environments and biomes along the way. You would transition to the grasslands, see hills start appearing on the horizon as you passed other cars, the colors were getting better, the frame rate was nicer, you could almost feel the wind whipping in your hair as you drove along. The point of arcade games was to get players to keep coming back for more, keep using more quarters and tokens depending on your region, and Outrun did that job in spades. This time you could see the desert, if you were good enough, and if you could get to all the checkpoints, that is. And what happened if you went right last time? What happened if you go 2 lefts and 2 rights? 2 rights and 3 lefts? Where would you end up next? Racing games provided people with a lot of opportunities. You could go head to head, you could be in huge competitions with lots of people, or it could be a game where you're racing your own time or even just exploring. That's why people are deeply passionate and deeply emotional about their first racing games to this very day. Each time you hit the track, you would see something new. A biome you never saw before, cars you never saw before, and you got just that closer to the goal at the end, wondering what would be at the end of the next curve, what would be at the end of the road. Just kept people coming back for more and more and more. And there was nothing like that sweet feel of victory when you finally made it to the end. All your boys came out and cheered you on, and your girlfriend just kind of stand there like, yeah, that dude is one hell of a driver. Simple pleasures back in the day, and I always loved how they dropped the guy afterwards too. Some games to this day try and pull back on that old feeling of, early arcade racers to this day, clearly harkening back to games like Outrun and, even Rally Speedway. They even made sure to add the co-pilot to the car and keep that same exact red color. Driving down the coast like old times. These games were referred to as early arcade racers. A lot of them were literally in arcades, which makes them arcade racers, so the definition was easy. But pretty soon, almost all games would be at the home console, and arcades would start their sad, waning days, and, eventually, things change. The 90s. That's where racing games truly began to diverge. You wouldn't be worth your snuff as a gamer if you didn't know what Super Mario Kart was. Though some of you are young enough that you probably haven't played it, you've at least seen it. We can't talk about modern arcade racers without talking about Mario Kart, because it establishes so many of the hallmarks that define arcade racers in the modern day. And of course, it made the go-karting subgenre. From the boost pads, to the coins on the course, to the big one being the items, Mario Kart stood out, and it had a very unique identity compared to any racer that had come before it. Mario Kart is colorful, inviting, and kind of wacky. And behind all of that, it has a devilishly clever design. The use of items in Mario Kart is actually brilliant. They allow Mario Kart to control the pace of the race in the background, making it feel like no one's ever really losing, and curtailing the skills of those who are too skilled for the people they're playing with. It also keeps everything so wacky that you accept this. In racing games in the past, when you hit enemy cars, they would boost ahead, or they would be inexplicably faster than you, and it could be frustrating. But in Mario Kart, with so many cartoonish, hilarious things happening around you, you just kind of accepted it. Let's look at an example of what I'm talking about. Right here, Mario should lose. This is the third lap, it's the end. He gets a power star, and now he gets a massive speed boost and is indestructible. And at the last second, he's able to speed past DK Jr. to take the win. If this was another racing game and a character just got a speed boost like that, couldn't be destroyed, and took a first place that they didn't earn, it would be frustrating, rightfully so. But Mario Kart's wacky environment, this seems right. It's easier to accept, an easier pill to swallow. Also, the modes were great, and the graphics were great for the time anyway. This was the first time a lot of the Mario characters were ever seen in 3D, or the world itself was seen in 3D, so it was a marvel for children at the time and adults alike. With time trial mode, you could practice the courses to beat your friends and rivals, and with battle mode, if you didn't like the race or weren't too good at it, there were other things you could do. It took the wackiness from a 10 to a 12. To this day, Mario Kart pulls in players who love games, players who just dabble, players of all ages, men, women, and children. It sells millions and millions of copies. and its formula has been copied from that time onward, even to modern day. Everyone knows that pulse-pounding sound of the final lap, the sound of a red shell hitting your enemy, the sound of slipping on a banana peel. It's become a part of society. And it's great. If you think of realistic racers as being on the far right side, Nintendo had found the perfect formula for wacky, arcade-style racers on the extreme left, and they would go on to refine this formula in Mario Kart's sequel. Mario Kart 2, a sequel so good they skipped the other 62 entries and went straight to 64. You got the rocket start, and the mini turbo drift boost, and more items. This formula would go on to be used in many, many other racing games, like Diddy Kong Racing, for example. Each new game brought with it a little something new to the formula with its gimmick. Whether it be new vehicles, wackier items, crazier characters, everyone had something to offer, and at that time, it was all good. There were a ton of copycats, some good, some not so good, and then there was Penny Racers. Did any of you actually play Penny Racers? It had cute little cars, and you could customize them with little pennies that gave them abilities, and you didn't really drift so much as your car had a conniption and just kind of rolled like you were in a traffic accident. But if you did it well, you could turn on a 90-degree angle, and I liked it anyway. If any of you actually played Penny Racers, please comment fist bump or something so I can know I'm not alone. Also, the music was super cute and really, really charming. I remember this as one of my favorite rentals from Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. Speaking of music, though, you had games like Beetle Adventure Racing with its grunge hip-hop aesthetic, and it pushed the Volkswagen Beetle far beyond anything I think any of us ever asked for, or ever will ask for again. But it was fun, though. It was very, very garage hip-hop. That guy is going in on those drums, man! Listen to that! You had games like Snowboard Kids, which showed that you didn't even need cars. You could use the Mario Kart formula of items and wacky hijinks and put it on pretty much anything, and it would be fun. Adding your own little flair with tricks and money and, make it your own thing, your own identity. On the Sony side, they were no slouch either. They had CTR, Crash Team Racing, Crash's version of Mario Kart, basically. You took all the wacky Crash characters in the wacky Crash world, and they basically had their own Mario Kart. It was almost literally the same thing. I think the devs even said as much. And they had Bomberman Fantasy Race, the criminally underrated racing classic on the PSX, where there were no karts, there were no snowboards, not even jet skis. They rode on living creatures that had their own stamina and feelings and emotions. It was fantastic. It was like a Saturday morning cartoon that we just never got over here. And I will stand this game my whole life. In keeping with Mario Kart's formula, it's colorful, it's very inviting, the items kind of equalize skill levels out, and it's great for all ages. If you started to play arcade racers seriously, you notice a few common denominators starting to make themselves known. Certain ways items were used, certain unspoken rules that all the games shared. All the good ones, anyway. In basic terms, all an arcade racer needs is simplistic controls and an unrealistic art style, and that's pretty much all you need. But there was much more. Let's look at this moment from CTR Nitro Charge. It has literally everything that a crazy arcade racer has in it. Number 1, Boost. Number 2, items that can completely change the result of races or give one driver an extreme advantage over the other drivers. Number 3, simplify controls and drifting. Simple, but not necessarily easy. Number 4, wacky, over-the-top shortcuts. And number 5, money, collectibles, or other challenges on the track that affect the outcome of the race. But the most important thing above any other is that they're unrealistic. Hilariously unrealistic. To be clear, when I say unrealistic, I mean they may not use real-world car brands, may or may not adhere to the laws of physics that we do in the real world, and may do stuff like this. And just, act like it's a Tuesday, just like any other. I love the jets, by the way. It's just a nice little American touch.
First place.
But if we can credit Nintendo's formula for laying out the framework for the extreme left of the wacky arcade racing genre, Sony would be responsible for the realistic side. Gran Turismo was designed for one purpose. The dev wanted to feel like he was driving a real car on his home TV, and he accomplished that in spades. Games like this are sim racers, very realistic. Wind, weather conditions, and even road conditions can affect performance, speed, and handling of cars. Oftentimes, real-world brands are used, and very realistic details are adhered to at all times. The controls for realistic sim racers is as realistic as possible, many of them being certified by actual car makers and real-life brands. Some sim racers are so realistic that people use them to train for real racing and actual driving in various conditions. And with the advent of VR and very high-end PCs, the realism is only going to be pushed further and further. Besides Gran Turismo, you have the Forza franchise, and way too many to list here right now. But needless to say, sim racers are here to stay, they have their audience, and they're going to keep pulling off into the future. One last thing I didn't cover are the semi-realistic arcade racers. They're sort of a sweet spot in between. More like that Sega Saturn, Sega Arcade era style racing game. It's nowhere near Mario Kart, but nowhere near as realistic as Gran Turismo and Forza. You have simplified controls, but not simple. Drifting requires a little bit more work, and brands are almost real, but not quite there. These have their audience too, like this one, Hot Shots Racing. It's fun for the feel for people who want the feeling of racing, but don't feel like going through all the minutiae and difficult details of a realistic sim racer. I love these two. with all that out of the way, let's finally get to the game. So as I said before, this is Super Indy Karts, an early access indie kart racer that follows all the arcade racing rules. You don't need to follow all of them, but this one does it all. Disclaimer, this game is an early access, so things will be added and things will be further developed on it until it reaches completion. But why buy it now? Well, it's cheap. But is this game a po man's Mario Kart? Or can it stand on its own four wheels? Let's find out. Okay, let's check out the options. You have single player or multiplayer, trophy room, achievements, standard stuff. Multiplayer, you have battle mode, split screen race, and a split screen GP, which is nice. I'll make a special note about multiplayer later because the split screen does something I wish every split screen game does. We'll get to that though. In single player, we have the Grand Prix, single race or versus race and some other kart races, and mission mode. Haven't seen mission mode since Mario Kart DS, and we have time travels over here. That's good. For now, let's check out single race and see what we can find out. Alright, we have the engine speeds, of course 50cc, 100, 150, and wait for it. Yeah, you hear that guitar twine? 200cc. Haven't seen that since Mario Kart 8 made it. Lots and lots of tracks, love to see that. Ooh. We have Toe Jam and Earl here. That makes me very happy. A good roster is very important. Back in Mario Kart 8, you have a whole row of Bowser's kids. All the Bebe's kids showed up for the race. And then Nintendo asked, hey!
What about babies? You guys got any babies?
And they gave an entire row where creativity came to die. Almost a full row of babies. They clearly ran out of ideas, and they stuck in Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach? No, that's Gold Mario, even worse. They bought some Splatoon kids, Link, and some villagers later, but that was about it. But I digress. Let's go back to Funkatron and check out this race. One lap ought to be enough. Alright. This is 50cc, by the way. The speed of a kart racer and any arcade racer is make or break for me. Alright, individualized invincibility, I like that. Lots of colorful collectibles. Oh, that is fast. That is very fast. Okay, alright. Nice creativity in the track. I know there's a reticule for if I have a projectile weapon. Appreciate that. Extra points there. Alright, let's go. Okay, these doors are fast. There's very fast. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Looking forward to 200cc later. Alright. Okay, let's jump to the last lap here. Makes a big deal when you're in first place. Bring the tension of the last lap. You'll notice I'm doing Mario Kart style drifting. It even has 4 levels, like modern Mario Kart 8 does. And it's done exactly how you think it is. Alright. Good speed. If this is 50cc, this is a strong start. Strong start. And I do feel like I'm in Funkatron. Those of you who are too young to have played Toe Jam and Earl, go play Toe Jam and Earl. Alright. There we go. Oh, we're upside down. Didn't realize that. There we go.
I was just playing around.
It's weird to hear a voice coming out of Toe Jam. Alright. Lots of collectibles and things for missions and stuff to unlock later. Let's move on. Rumbo characters with variants. In Mario Kart 8, they had the DLC and the different colors of Yoshi, if any of you can remember that. So I always appreciate variants. Alright, let's go. Oh lord. Oh, I like that. Got the rear view mirror when you shoot backwards. And the worst thing you could add to a racetrack ever. It has the Rumble mechanics. Yay! Oh, Lord. If any of you haven't played Rumble before, Rumble's a game where the sky changes color. And if that color is... If a platform is the same color as that color, that platform didn't exist. So when you add that to a racetrack, it is crazy. And kind of wonderful, actually. I really like that. I've not had to put this much thought into a kart race in a very long time. You know, this is blue. Blue disappears right there, and it changes. It'd be nice if you could change the speed at which that changes. Whoa, that's green there. All right, let's be careful. Yeah, if you can change that speed to make it easier or harder later, that would be much appreciated. All right, that is nice. And a little stressful. Okay. There are a couple Rumble tracks, but I think one showed off will be good for now. Let's see what else we got. Okay, who's next? Duck from Duck Game. Got the Freedom Planet Girls, Mutant Muds. Guacamelee. Who do we want to take out to play? So many choices, so many indie games I've played, and so many I don't know existed. Gonna have to check all these out sometime. That's what good cross promotion does. Yeah. Everyone should do that. Oh, there's a second page down here. Plenty of characters coming down the way. Those might be secret characters, or they might be in development. Either way, looking forward to this. Feeling a lucha, let's go Guacamelee and check out his track. Alright. Like the colors, very bright, very inviting. Remember the rules we established for kart racers? Boost items, simple but not easy controls, and very unrealistic. Yeah, we had all that. And shortcuts. I'm not sure if there are shortcuts, but that's something a beginner's not going to know. Remember, an arcade racer doesn't need all of those, but 2 or 3 of them is enough. Alright, let's go. I like the little music in the background. I'm feeling my inner lucha. Yeah. Alright. Good speed. Like that. Oh, there's a match going on there. I like that. Extra points. There we go. Jump through the mat. Oh, nice fruity veggie crunch when you go through the door. Yep, that's nice. Sound effects matter. Extra polish matters. Let's see. I bought this game for about 730 yen. So I guess that would be about, what, 6-7 USD on a Steam sale, so I'm already fully impressed right now. And I need to play Guacamelee again. Alright, let's roll. Good music. Very important. I feel pumped. There's just 50cc, so look at 1 or 2 computers going crazy on the last lap, like an agent in the Matrix waking up, but nothing too crazy, just for demonstration purposes. But I'm sure it would be harder in 150. One important note, at the time, this game does not have online multiplayer, but we have Steam Remote Play and Parsec, so there are ways. There are always ways, and as it is in early access, online play could come at a later time. Alright, let's check this out. Oh, this label is just an 80s album incarnate. Even have the sunset, getting all Miami Vice here, and I'm a sentient car. I come from a time of Knight Rider. This is pleasing to me. Yes. Let's rock. When you draft people, there's a noticeable visual effect. Very appreciated. For those who are not in the know, drafting is when you get close to the back of an enemy racer. the air vacuum will cause you to speed up. This is something that happens in real racing in real life, but in a cartoony arcade racer, the effect is dramatically amplified. It's in a lot of games and is a secret tech, but in arcade racers, it can give you a crazy boost that can change the outcome at the last second. It's in a lot of games, Mario Karts, Kirby Air Ride, I think it's in the F-Zeros, and even in a lot of realistic sim racers, but the effect will be, you know, based on the game franchise. Alright. Okay, you don't win them all, but that was a good feeling. I want that track in my veins. Alright, what's next? What do we got? Gonna take my girl Lilac out. Love Freedom Planet. We'll get to you in time. We'll get to you in time. Oh, wow! I've never seen a Freedom Planet environment in 3D. That's another good racing to cross-promote games and other games. You never think that what IPs would look like in other art styles. Now I want 3D Freedom Planet. That would be sweet. Okay. Dang it, if Spark the Electric Jester, the Fan Sonic game, can do it, you can do it too, Freedom Planet. Alright. Note to self, get Freedom Planet 2, add to list. Got it. Okay, let's go. There they go. Okay, you even have the items and the sound effects from each individual game. Very appreciated, high level of polish. Extra points. Okay, I think I'm hitting these spike guys up here. We can boost through it. You may or may not notice, when Lilac boosts, she actually has the sound effects she has from her own game when she used her Dragon Boost. That's a lot of detail. Very nice. And these little items here are little crystals you pick up in Freedom Planet. Cool. It's the first level in Freedom Planet. So if you check it out, you will see what this track's all about. There's another Freedom Planet level, I think it's the mall from later in the game. So if you know what that is, you know what that is. Also, I noticed that her friend Carol, who has a motorcycle in Freedom Planet, has a motorcycle as her car. That's nice too. And that's the victory theme in Freedom Planet. Very nice. Fan service is important. This game was made with love. Alright, who we're taking out next? Let's see. Take you out to play. And what will your level be? Okay. There is a rocket boost. I did not get it, but the CPU in front of me got it. Rocket boost timing's a little different in every game, but it's kind of a must-have at this point. Uh-oh. Alright, so it looks like there's some kind of lifts that take you up and down. Not familiar with the game that this track is based on. Have to check that out later. Did enough research for this video as it is. Alright, here we go. Sounds kind of like Celeste music. Okay, not doing great on this track so far, but it is fun. I see some shortcuts you can make if you're fast enough and clever enough. Alright, good enough for a first run. Okay, what's next? Ooh, water, very pretty. I like the color blue. Okay, there's the drafting effect. Lots of jumping. That's a old school, original Super Mario Kart thing. You might have seen it earlier when we discussed things. Okay, there's some kind of giant crab robot in the middle of the ocean. I'm assuming that's plot relevant to this game. Okay, there we go. Jumping ahead. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. And not great. Okay, here we go. Very relaxing. I usually like pulse pounding music in my racing games, but you need some chill tracks too when you want to come down after a long day. I'll take that win. Oh yeah, there's a little speech bubble from this game. Nice. Alright. Once again, variants, male and female, always appreciated. Let's check this out. Alright, it's all black and white. What can you do that's unique? Oh, I see it already. See, when I first got this game, I thought it was just gonna be like a Super Mario Kart reskin fan project, but these tracks are pretty dynamic. They go upside down, they go all around. They're doing all the modern Mario Kart stuff at a nice price. I appreciate that. I'm having fun here. I'm having fun. A lot of variety, a lot of characters. Honestly, a better roster than Mario Kart 8, so you're doing well. You're doing well at Super Indie Karts. Alright. Okay, this might be a secret agent game. That's the vibe I'm getting here. Alright, okay, can't go up these walls. Okay, speeding up. All the items you may have noticed are basically not versions of Mario Kart items. The 3 spinning green watermelons, of course, your green shells. The Stroom is a mushroom boost. I think I don't know what the invincibility item is yet, and there's no blue spike shell. Mighty Z like. Mighty Z like. Hate blue spike shells. They punish success. Should never do that. Alright, here we go. What is this item? Alright, moving on. Okay, boosting some more. I like it. Once again, this is 50cc, so there's a nice speed, an appreciable speed. Yeah, speed is important. We're gonna jump from 50cc straight to 200 because I want that speed and I want to feel every bit of that horsepower. We'll do that after the next track. Okay, you have the draft boost plus the maximum mini turbo drift boost. Gives you a nice speed, good to know. So if you have Mario Kart tech in your hand, it'll grandfather in. And is this first person? Nice, all right. There was first person in Mario Kart 7 handheld, but not in the new console Mario Karts. It used gyro controls, or not if you didn't want to, and it was nice. I actually liked it. This controls well. I'm getting all the indications of what I'm doing. I can tell what I'm picking up. I see the sparks when I'm doing my turns. It's comfortable. I could do the whole race like this and not feel like it's gimmicky. Very nice. Also, I assume different karts have individualized steering wheels. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of love. I'll have to check that out later. Oh, I like this. Yeah. First person at this speed. Might throw up in the Rumbo level, though. Alright. Another track knocked out. Alright, checking out a nice track. I think we had water, lava, air, sea. Just trying to check out all the elements. Looking for stuff that's crazy. Yeah, they're definitely doing the Mario Kart 8S anti-grab track design. You can see it very clearly right there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, you can drive in the walls in this one. That's nice. Oh, crazy scorpion enemies. Let's go. I'm not sure if it's a glitch or this character, but throughout the course of this race, I'm only getting boost. I think it has something to do with this character. Maybe in his game, all he does is boost, but it seemed to have happened to me throughout the entire course of this race. All right. It's time. Are you ready? Oh yeah, I can feel it in my blood. So for 200cc, I'm probably gonna show the whole race. Note to self, taking out Big Earl to play. That's exactly what Big Earl's supposed to sound like. So we're gonna go to the first track and the first cup, just to, you know, get our feet wet at this speed. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's already noticeably faster. This track should be pretty easy, so let's see if the tracks are even made for this speed. That was a problem in Mario Kart. They added 200cc, but the tracks were not designed for it, so it's pretty bad. Okay, we're getting air, lots of air. All right, okay. That guardrail on top may be here for 200cc. If they designed that knowing this would happen. Very nice. Let's test it out fully. Okay. Whoa. Okay, this is nice, appreciable speed. Like this. Like it. Love it. Alright, there we go. I have my 3 green watermelons that I'll use accordingly. Alright, that was 1 lap. That's not too bad. It's a nice speed. It's not crazy. I still have control. But it is a very nice speed. Yeah, it's real. It's real. Let's check out the acceleration there. Yeah. And yes, you definitely get air far easier in places you do not get in a lower speed bracket. Okay. Okay. That's nice. Okay. So this is all like lo-fi 80s music, very chill, very targeted music, we 80s babies. I like being targeted, that's fine. Alright, let's go. Here we are. Okay, there we go. Let's rock. Okay, last lap. Let's see if we can win this. Alright, let's combine everything we've learned. We have boost pads, boosts, simple controls, easy turning, horribly unrealistic gameplay, and fun. Let's see where this goes. Didn't see any shortcuts, but he got all the other ones, so it's all good. Though at this speed, we may make shortcuts where none were before. Alright, and that very much does count. Alright, let's go. I want it. I want it. Ah, not gonna get it. Second, you're the #1 loser. I could get some friends together and play this later. Alright, let's go to a track we saw before we close things out. This is Funkatron. You saw it at 50. Let's check it out at 200. Okay, this is pretty nice. Alright, here we go. Nice speed here. Okay, ruining the speed, guys. Okay, there we go. Hold it together. Wow, I would not have made that if I wasn't at this speed. All right. All right, okay, I'm adapting. Adapting. All right, here we go. This is fast. This is very fast. But daddy like. Daddy like. Here we go. All right. Need to drive better. Come on, Earl. We can do this. You're back? That's hilarious. All right. Okay, here we go. That is nostalgic. Here we go. I'll take that. Bring the funk back to Funkatron. Oh, yeah. Okay, almost there. Just gotta keep it steady, and this will be our win. Okay, I'll rather hit a wall than fall off a cliff, or into the vacuum of space in this case. Don't think about it. Here we go, and that's mine. Nice.
Not bad.
Yes, not bad indeed. Alright, let's check out some missions real quick. So the missions have multiple levels, it seems. They may unlock characters or not, and they seem to be pretty straightforward from the descriptions. This one is simply driving through rings, and it's the first one, so shouldn't be that bad. The ones in Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart DS were fairly easy as well in the beginning, but then they got pretty crazy. Taught you some mechanics, little shortcuts, little tricks. It's appreciated. Alright. Once again, I must compliment the musician for the music. It's very chill. Keeps me in the mood. Alright. Alright, this one was collect these crystal shards. And I guess if you make a good route, you can do it. I keep falling, so I do that slowly. That was not great, but nice. After everything was said and done, last thing is to check the multiplayer out. I grabbed a friend that doesn't have great internet, doesn't have a great computer, because I have pretty good internet, actually pretty awesome internet, and a pretty nice computer, so I thought this would be a fair test. What you're going to see was done on Steam Remote Play, so nothing special, nothing you wouldn't be expected to have automatically. Alright, let's move on. Of note is this. They actually let you choose vertical or horizontal split screen. I wish more local split screen did this. Last time I remember having that option was actually in Beetle Adventure Racing of all games, but it should be in every split screen local multiplayer game. It's very useful and it comes up a lot. For example, horizontal split screen can be super useful based on what kind of track you're on in this game. Look at this Rumbo track. Being able to see the sky with that much open space is very helpful, and if you couldn't, it'd be very difficult. Other than that, we really didn't have too many problems. The game performed smoothly, it's responsive. There were a couple dips on my friend's side, but their internet is really bad and their computer is super duper old. So it's probably that. I had no problems on my end, and it's pretty smooth, so very satisfied with that. And that's just Steam Remote Play, and you know, Parsec would be even better. But the very last test is battle mode. Even Mario Kart messes this up on occasion, so I was really excited to check this out. They have a lot of nice tracks, some of them are throwbacks like this one, which is clearly their take on Block Forward with its own curvy taste. It's appreciated though. I count this as definitely an homage. It says the Black Fort colors pretty much definitely evokes that energy, but it does its own thing. It's way more round and it's physically much larger. Yes. So this first mode is Shroom Hunters. We didn't really know what we're doing at first. We're just driving around like, oh my god, it's Black Fort! But in this first mode, and they give you a few modes, you have to collect shrooms. There'll be a huge light coming down from the top, and you race to do it. With 2 people, it's okay, but I could see this being more hectic and fun with 4 players, or at least 3. We went to another level, I'll figure out what we were doing, and then there was a little bit more competition. But with 2 people, whoever's the better driver is gonna get the shroom almost every time, hands down, and that's all it's gonna be. So, this mode, not the best. Not a bad mode, but, you know, not the best. Next up, egg crackers. Now let's go to one of these impossible space levels inside of a large geometric shape. Really cool design, by the way. Egg crackers is what you expect from battle mode. You don't have 3 balloons, but you have 3 eggs, and I think you know where we're going from there. This one you just grab weapons and harm each other like battle mode was supposed to be. And it's fun. These levels are really interesting. I hadn't played split screen in so long that it felt nice and nostalgic to try and look off my friend's screen and see where they were. And plus, I think the colors in these geometric shapes are for that purpose, so you can figure out where they are. So bring back those old GoldenEye cheating skills if you still got them. And the final battle mode is Jewel Grabbers. We chose the third category. This time, they have some jumping and warping around a bit. And Jewel Grabbers is just what it sounds like. You grab jewels. So, collectathon on wheels, being kleptomaniac drivers, of course. And you just go around and collect jewels. It kind of takes the combat out of it, but once again, I think this mode would be a little bit more fun with more than just 2 people. 4 people going at it, hurting each other, grabbing the jewels would probably be a blast. 2 people, whoever is more in control of their cart is going to win hands down. But if you're having a nice chill chat with this really wonderful 80s music in the background, it'd be pretty awesome. Final thoughts? I think Super Indie Karts is fantastic. It's doing a lot of stuff that Mario Kart used to do and has just stopped or forgotten how to do over the years. There's lots of great characters, voice acting. There's a lot of love put into all the tracks. It's a great roster. All the modes are there. I don't even think it's a poor man's Mario Kart. It's a great standalone arcade racer. Great go-karter in general. Throw it up on your Steam wish list, and if there's a sale, pick it up. Play with your friends. Play it by yourself. Drive around. This is a great little game just to have around. Yeah. The point of Just a Taste is to talk about why games are important to us and to give some of these small games at least an episode of our time. And on this first episode, you already hit a banger out of the gate. It's great. If you can give me any kind of feedback, I'm still growing here, and all your feedback, positive or negative, is deeply appreciated. We're going to call it here. This is the end of the first arcade racer. Next time we have another arcade racer, we'll hit the slopes and see if we can bring another style of arcade back to our homes. But, as always, be safe, be well, and goodbye. And to all you 80s dreamers out there, never stop dreaming.